Imagine a world that existed millions of years before any person. It was a world ruled by giants. Dinosaurs were the kings and queens of this ancient planet. They were everywhere. Some were as big as a building, shaking the ground with every step. Others were as small as a chicken, covered in colorful feathers. For more than 150 million years, they thrived. They hunted in dense jungles, they waded through vast swamps, and they nested on wide open plains. They were the most successful group of animals that has ever lived on land. They were powerful, diverse, and seemed unstoppable. Then suddenly, they vanished. After all that time, after dominating the entire planet, they were gone. The mighty Tyrannosaurus Rex, which could crush bone with its powerful jaws, disappeared. The huge Triceratops with its 3 sharp horns and bony frill was no more. The long-necked Brachiosaurus, which could eat leaves from the tallest trees, vanished from the earth forever. It's one of the biggest mysteries in the history of our world. How could such incredible creatures, who had ruled for so long, just disappear? This question has fascinated scientists and children for generations. It is a true detective story, with clues buried deep in the earth. Solving this mystery is like putting together a giant puzzle. The pieces of this puzzle are not made of cardboard, but of rock and bone. Paleontologists, the detectives who study ancient life, travel all over the world to find these clues. They dig up fossilized skeletons, they study ancient layers of rock, and they look for tiny chemical traces left behind from that distant time. Each fossil they find is a piece of the story. Each layer of rock tells them what the world was like. It's a slow and difficult job, but it helps us travel back in time to witness the final days of the dinosaurs. Understanding what happened to the dinosaurs is not just about solving an old mystery. It's about understanding our own planet. The same forces that caused the end of the dinosaurs are still at play today. The Earth is a dynamic and sometimes dangerous place. Asteroids still fly through space, and volcanoes still erupt with incredible force. The story of the dinosaurs is a powerful reminder of how quickly life on Earth can change. It teaches us about survival, extinction, and the incredible resilience of life. It's a story written in the rocks, waiting for us to read it and learn its important lessons. For a long time, scientists had many ideas about what killed the dinosaurs. Maybe a new disease spread through their populations. Perhaps small mammals ate all of their eggs. Some even wondered if the climate changed too slowly for them to adapt. These were all interesting ideas, but they didn't quite fit all the evidence. The extinction seemed too fast, too widespread, and too devastating. It didn't just affect one type of dinosaur, it wiped out entire families of them all over the world, both on land and in the sea. Something truly catastrophic must have happened to cause such a complete collapse of their empire. The big break in the case came in the 1980s. A team of scientists, led by a father and son named Luis and Walter Alvarez, found something strange in the layers of rock. Exactly at the level that marked the end of the dinosaur era, they found a thin layer of clay. This clay was packed with a rare metal called iridium. Iridium is very uncommon on the Earth's surface, but it is very common in asteroids and comets that fly through space. This was the smoking gun. It suggested that a giant object from space had smashed into our planet right at the time the dinosaurs disappeared. This discovery led to the most famous theory, the asteroid impact. The idea is that a huge asteroid about 6 miles wide came hurtling through space and crashed into the Earth. The impact would have been more powerful than all the nuclear bombs in the world combined. It would have created a massive explosion, sending a giant cloud of dust, rock, and soot high into the atmosphere. This wasn't just a bad day for the dinosaurs. It was a day that changed the world forever. The evidence for this giant impact crater was later found, hidden beneath the waves of the Gulf of Mexico, near a town called Chicxulub. But the asteroid might not have acted alone. There's another major suspect in this ancient crime: volcanoes. At around the same time as the impact, one of the largest volcanic systems in Earth's history was erupting in what is now India. These were not ordinary volcanoes. They were enormous fissures in the ground that poured out lava for thousands of years. This massive volcanic activity, known as the Deccan Traps, would have filled the air with poisonous gases and ash. It would have changed the climate, making the world a much harder place for the dinosaurs to live. So the dinosaurs might have already been struggling to survive in a world poisoned by volcanoes. Let's imagine the world on that terrible day, 66 million years ago. The asteroid impact would have sent a blinding flash of light across the globe, followed by a deafening boom. Earthquakes stronger than any we have ever experienced would have shaken the continents. Giant tsunamis, miles high, would have washed over the coastlines, destroying everything in their path. The heat from the impact would have been so intense that it might have set forests on fire all around the world. For the dinosaurs living nearby, the end would have been instant. But for the rest of the world, the worst was yet to come, a slow and creeping darkness. The huge cloud of dust and soot from the impact and the global fires would have spread through the atmosphere, wrapping the entire planet in a thick blanket of darkness. This planetary shroud would have blocked out the sun. Without sunlight, the world would have become cold and dark. Plants, which need sunlight to make their food, would have withered and died. This was a disaster for the plant-eating dinosaurs like Triceratops and Edmontosaurus. With no plants to eat, they would have starved. Their disappearance would have a ripple effect up the food chain, leaving the meat-eating dinosaurs like Tyrannosaurus rex with nothing to hunt. The volcanic eruptions from the Deccan traps would have made a bad situation even worse. The constant release of sulfur dioxide and other gases would have created acid rain, poisoning the rivers, lakes, and oceans. The gases would also have acted like a blanket, trapping heat and causing wild swings in the global temperature. The world would have swung between periods of intense cold from the impact cloud and periods of intense heat from the volcanic gases. This chaotic climate would have been impossible for most large animals to survive. The dinosaurs' world was falling apart, from the bottom of the food chain to the top, but even in this dark and devastated world, life found a way. Not everything died. Small creatures that could hide underground, like our tiny mammal ancestors, were able to survive. They could eat insects, roots, and whatever scraps they could find. Some birds, which are the living descendants of dinosaurs, also made it through. When the dust finally settled and the sunlight returned, the world was empty. The giant dinosaurs were gone, leaving a planet full of opportunities. This was the moment for the survivors. The small, furry mammals that had lived in the shadows of the dinosaurs for millions of years finally had their chance to shine. The disappearance of the dinosaurs was the end of one story, but it was the beginning of another. Our story. With the great reptiles gone, mammals began to explore the empty world. They grew larger, they diversified, and they evolved into all the amazing forms we see today, from whales in the ocean to bats in the sky. And of course, this new age of mammals eventually led to the evolution of primates, and then much later, to the first humans. If that asteroid had missed Earth, or if the dinosaurs had somehow survived, the world today would be a very different place. We almost certainly wouldn't be here. The story of the dinosaurs is a powerful lesson about how interconnected life is on our planet. The extinction event shows us how a single event can change everything. The loss of the plants led to the loss of the plant eaters, which led to the loss of the meat eaters. It demonstrates the fragility of ecosystems. Today, we are facing our own environmental challenges, like climate change and habitat loss. We are seeing many species disappear at an alarming rate. The story of the dinosaurs is a warning from the past. It reminds us that even the most dominant creatures on the planet are not immune to extinction. Studying the extinction also helps us understand the incredible power of our planet. The Earth is not a static ball of rock, it is a living, breathing system with immense forces at work. The asteroid impact and the massive volcanic eruptions were events of a scale that is hard for us to even imagine. By studying the geological evidence they left behind, we learn more about how our planet works and how it responds to major crises. This knowledge is not just for understanding the past, it is crucial for helping us prepare for future challenges, whether they come from the Earth itself or from outer space. Finally, the dinosaurs matter because they spark our imagination and curiosity like nothing else. They connect us to a deep, mysterious past. They are monsters, but they were real. They walked on the same Earth that we walk on today. They remind us that the history of our planet is long, dramatic, and full of wonders. Every time a child looks at a dinosaur skeleton in a museum with awe, a new scientist, a new explorer, or simply a new curious mind is born. The dinosaurs may be gone, but their incredible story will live on forever, inspiring us to keep looking, keep digging, and keep asking big questions about our world.